In today's day and age, we tend to look after everyone else and can forget about our own health. But just like being on an aeroplane, we need to put down our own mask on first to be able to help others. Same goes on the ground. We need to look after us so we can look after everyone else. And in today's training, Jeff Ghaemaghamy talks about how we can look after both ourselves and everyone else around us using AI. So welcome to Global Training with Empowerment Point, the global hub for connections and collaborations where business leaders and networking groups share their knowledge, connect, and collaborate. Today, we bring you the lovely Jeff Ghaemaghamy, a devoted husband to his wife, Donna, and father to 3 grown children and 2 grandchildren, who has called New Zealand home for the past 4 decades. With over 30 years of experience in the health, wellness, and the anti-aging industry, Jeff has achieved remarkable success, steering his business to generate hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. Although retired for the past decade, Jeff's passion for innovation and transformative technologies has drawn him back into the fray. He has emerged from retirement to spearhead the pre-launch of a groundbreaking venture poised to revolutionize the global landscape. And just of late, Jeff has also been invited to Necker Island to spend time with Richard Branson as well. So welcome to the wonderful Jeff Ghaemaghamy. Yay!
Oh my gosh. Deb, you should be like a TV presenter. You are like so articulate. It's fantastic. I love it. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Thank you for everyone who's come to have a listen. I think it's like a nice intimate group tonight. So maybe I want to present some information. Maybe we can have an intimate chat or do a Q&A. And hopefully all of your questions can help other people who might watch this as a replay. And I'm sure there'll be many who do. Maybe I'll start by sharing, but first I want to thank you, Deb, so much for inviting me to share here with your global community. I got to say, I'm very impressed with the community you've created, your concept, and how you love supporting other people in business. And really grateful that you would give me a few moments to share what we're up to, and hopefully what I have to share can make an impact for you or maybe someone you know.
I have absolutely surety that it will. So thank you, Jeff. What you're doing is amazing, and how you're helping people is amazing as well. And thank you so much for the kind words.
We're going to have the mutual admiration session tonight. So listen, thank you again, all of you who could attend live, and welcome to all the people who are watching as a replay. Maybe I might start by just sharing a bit about myself, my background. Maybe I'll speak a little bit about well, I definitely will, about some macroeconomic trends and micro trends that are fueling this anti-aging and wellness industry. And I'm going to share an extraordinary concept, and then we might open up for a bit of Q&A and hopefully answer any questions you might have. So my background, you can hear with my little funny accent. As Deb said, I live in Auckland, New Zealand. I've been here in New Zealand for 40 years. I grew up initially in the United States, in a small little town of about 100,000 people in the Northeast, not far from Niagara Falls. My father was a doctor, and I had a life-changing experience when he passed away at 54 of a heart attack. And I started to ask questions about, how could it be that someone who was a surgeon, who had saved thousands of people, literally thousands of people's lives in his lifetime, how could he succumb to heart disease? And so that journey led me into the health and wellness, anti-aging industry. I partnered with a company, an American-based company. I helped bring that brand here into Australia and New Zealand. And as Deb said, we've had a relatively successful enterprise over a period of time, turning over hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm not saying it to brag or anything. I think we just provided great products and great service and added value to people's lives. And that's something that's really important to me personally. I also just, as Deb said, I'm husband to the amazing Donna. She is my guiding light. We have 3 adult children, 35, my son, and 2 daughters, 34 and 32, and a couple little grandkids that are just emerging on the scene, and maybe more coming. That's the only reason we have kids, right? Is so they can bring us grandkids. So very excited about that. Let me just share on that, maybe just start up today by sharing a bit of my background again. That, I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Um, I found myself in my mid-20s, $70,000 in debt. We've made some, maybe not the best decisions. A few years ago, some friends of mine made me a business card. And I'd never had a business card before. I never thought of myself as one of the important people that need a business card. Behind, and a lot of my friends have these fancy letters behind their names, LLBs and MBAs and BSCs and PhDs and all these sort of things. And it said behind my name, HSD. And I'm thinking to myself, what the heck is HSD? So I asked them, what's HSD? And they're rolling around the floor laughing. When you laugh so hard, it kind of hurts in your stomach. And one of them finally piped up and said, it stands for high school dropout. And that kind of typifies me. I was a bit of a rebel. I dropped out of school. I don't even have a high school, diploma. And that left me in a financially, troubling situation as I started to have a family. By accident, we came across this company, NSE, the company. I'm going to talk a bit about some of their technology tonight. And again, we've had some relatively extraordinary success, at least from our point of view. I want to start talking to you about AI for a second. How many of you are using artificial intelligence in some capacity in life? Maybe ChatGPT, or maybe you've been using Perplexity, or one of the other really cool AI tools out there. AI is set to change the entire world. And although some people believe AI is a relatively new thing, really since the 1950s, AI has been slowly being integrated into our lives. ChatGPT is kind of brought it out to the forefront, and everyone's like becoming obsessed with this generative AI tool, which is very, very a cool technology, to be sure. How many of you are found a way to monetize AI at this point? When I ask that question to people kind of look at me like, monetize? Well, I'm using it, but I'm not making money with it yet. Or maybe I'm thinking about it, but I don't know how exactly to do that. And it really makes me, takes me back to about 25 or so years ago, as the internet started to become prolific in our lives, as the speed of that dial-up modem started going from, and we started to see the World Wide Web, which at the time stood for worldwide wait, as you waited for web pages to generate. And people started to ask back then, are you online? And people, yeah, I'm online. I'm using Yahoo, or I'm using Google had just come out. Are you making any money yet? People looked at you confused. The same as when I ask people about AI today. Now, of course, we know historically that millions of people have discovered how to monetize the internet. Many of them going on to create fortunes in the billions of dollars. AI is in that stage, that infancy stage, like where we were with the internet 2 or so decades ago. And with quantum computing coming online in a more vigorous way in the future, you're going to look back in 10 and 15 and 20 years and go, oh my gosh, what we saw with ChatGPT was just like a baby, taking its first little step. It really has grown to an incredible tool to help add value to our lives. The reason I talk about this is that we're going to talk about AI tonight and how AI can impact the health and wellness industry, the anti-aging industry. We're going to talk about disruption. And I'm a great fan of history. And with respect to history, tonight I want to share with you maybe some ideas of disruption. Companies like, I've got it written down here, Goldman Sachs is predicting 300 million jobs will be displaced by AI in the coming decade or so. We have McKinsey, which is an analytics company, sharing that they believe 1/3 of all jobs on the planet could be displaced. And while that's really disturbing, Jeff, why are you telling me this? Why are you bringing me bad news? Where there is disruption, and there's also opportunity. And so if we looked historically, I like to give an example of the railways as the first airplane, which I understand took off in New Zealand 2 years before the Wright brothers. I'm not sure here. I know we've got a little bit of an international audience listening in here. But I think the Americans had better PR than the Kiwis did way back then. But when the airline, the first airplane took off, the railway owners, who were the wealthiest people on the planet at the time, did not buy into the concept. They didn't see themselves. They saw themselves as the railways, not as transportation, and they missed that window. And of course, we saw what's happened to the airline industries have taken center stage. We could look at the blacksmith pounding on an anvil at the turn of the century when the first cars started rolling down these gravel roads, and the blacksmith didn't think, gosh, maybe I should become Goodyear. I'm going to be displaced by this technology. We could look at Kodak, which invented the digital camera. Not many people know that in 1972, they invented the first digital camera, but their C-suite, their management team said, there's no way we can launch this. This will destroy our photographic business as we have it today. And so they held back. And Sony was the first really to bring this to market in a significant way. And by the time Kodak had reacted, they had lost market share and today are bankrupt in their photographic business after 150 years of dominance. I can give example after example after example. We could talk about Netflix, and the entertainment industry and how they disrupted the DVD or the video store type thing, the Blockbuster model. We could talk about Uber and Airbnb in recent years. We could talk about Tesla disrupting the car industry. All of these are examples of disruption. Right now, we believe that the approaching $2 trillion health, wellness, and beauty industry is ripe for disruption. And we're going to use technology to do that in a way that's never been done before. And I think we could maybe, just maybe, impact 1 billion lives around the world for the best. And it's really driven, well, actually, let me share with you first. When people talk about billions and millions, and you kind of get lost in all these numbers. I'm kind of a numbersy guy. I can't spell. Even ChatGPT has a hard time trying to figure out what I'm saying sometimes. A bit of dyslexia there, but numbers I'm good with. And the size of the health and wellness and beauty industry is 10 times the size of the personal computer industry today. It is 30 times the size of the cell phone industry. So these are massive industries that are ripe for disruption. What's happening, and the reason these markets are so quickly growing and predicted to perhaps double in the coming decade, is that there's a generation that has fueled the health and wellness industry over the last 40 to 50 years, and they were called the baby boomers. Have any of you heard of baby boomers before? Some of you perhaps are baby boomers. Sorry, Deb, you're going to get left out here. I think Janine's going to get left out. Maybe the rest of us might sneak in. Born between 1946 and 1964. The boys came home from war after World War II. I'm not sure what happened, but they caught up with their wives and their girlfriends, and 9 months later, the maternity ward started popping babies out. And if you were in the baby industry, as those babies started coming on the scene, and by the way, 1/3 of one-third of all the OECD countries' population were baby boomers in that very short 18-year period of time. In the 1950s, as those babies started to become children, you can look at hula hoops and skateboards and slinkies and snakes and ladders and Monopoly, all the board games we know and love. Even the comic book characters were all developed in that time frame when the supply and demand was find a need and fill it for that generation. As they became teenagers, we had Buddy Holly, rock and roll, and the Beatles. Fast food, the McDonald's of the world, the Wendy's, the KFC's of this world became popularized because of the demographics. In the 1970s, they hit 20, and as they rebelled, we had flower power and peace marches. In the 80s, the hippies became yuppies as they had to put a tie and a shirt and pantsuits on and go to work in the corporate world to get a job, if you like. In the 1990s, that generation reached 40, and we saw the health and wellness industry really start to emerge. And we've seen what's happened to that industry over the last couple of decades as they have aged. The reason I'm telling you this is that it's important to understand in business, and I know most of you listening to this are in business, or you want to be in business, but in business, you want to ask yourself, and again, I don't have fancy letters, an MBA or LLB or any fancy letters, PhDs or behind my name, but I do know that business is all about finding a need and filling that need. And so today there's an extraordinary opportunity when we look at the Generation X and Generation Y, age between 15 and the early 30s today. The median age of this generation is 25, just under 25 today. And tell me, would you like to be able to look in the future and predict the future? If you could go 10 years in the, if you're British, the TARDIS, or if you're North America, maybe the H.G. Wells, the time machine. If you can go into the future 10 or 20 or 30 years, could you change your financial future? Could you change your health future? Absolutely, right? Unfortunately, unless the government, they could be, maybe, I'm not a conspiracy theorist guy, but maybe, just maybe, they're holding back on us. But I don't believe you can travel into the future, at least yet. Maybe soon. What I can tell you is I have seen the future. In 10 years' time, this Generation X and Y, median age 25, they're going to be median age 35. And then they're going to be 45, and then they're going to be 55 and 65. And over the next 40 and 50 years, as this generation that makes up 54% of the global population, not the OECD, not a third of the OECD, it's more than double the size of the baby boomer population. And as this generation migrates through age, their demands, supply and demand for looking and feeling good, for health and wellness, is going to explode. This is also a generation that grew up with technology in their hand. And they're more savvy and more consumer conscious than ever we were when we were that age. So NSE, the company I've been working with, they got together with the team at Amazon or AWS as they had migrated their computer infrastructure into the cloud, and had a visioning let's see if I get this right, visioning session where they sat down with the C-suite of NSE and the same group that for a week that had created Amazon to be the incredible company it is today. And they masterminded this concept, and it's pretty exciting. Essentially, what we've been working on, or NSE has been working on for the past 4 years, is they're developing an app with an investment approaching $1.2 billion US dollars. And if I put that in perspective, I think a lot of people, again, understand how much a billion is. If I took my watch here and said, okay, how long is a million seconds? A million seconds is approximately 11 days. Okay, so every 11 days, a million seconds ticks by. A billion seconds, by contrast, is approximately 33 years. So when we talk about million-dollar businesses, or billion-dollar or million-dollar investments, or billion-dollar investments, you can get a perspective that $1 million invested in developing something is like a month. A 1.2 billion is like talking about 40 or so years of time. So it's a big amount of money. This app will allow consumers to order a DNA assessment, a microbiome assessment, or around their gut health, perhaps hormone assessments, etc. It will be able to attach to biometric devices. This isn't biometric, but if you think about a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, maybe a Garmin or Samsung, maybe the Oura Ring or the new Galaxy Ring coming out a bit later this year. Those type of devices can measure behavior, your sleep, your steps, your stress, and the like. And in the future, they're talking about even blood sugar, the likes of your temperature, and a mini EKG that can measure your heart and really give data on where you're at on a daily basis, moment by moment, to help you optimize health. They have a Noom or MyFitnessPal type environment. Now, many of you may have heard of Noom or MyFitnessPal. These two apps alone have had 300 million downloads in recent years, and they are paid for apps. NSE approached the Noom team and almost acquired them. The deal didn't go through, but that gives you an idea of the type of program they're developing right now. This kind of self-awareness or app, the Noom type thing, will work with mental wellness, cognitive function, stress, anxiety, sleep, physical wellness. How are your joints on a scale of 1 to 10? How are your eyes? How is your weight? How is your libido? These types of questions. to get a profile of each individual consumer. We have a cool piece of tech I'm a little bit excited about. This is a proprietary technology. How many of you have ever stepped on a scale? You've gone to the gym, or maybe you might have a bathroom scale at home where you step on it and it might send a little electric current through your body, and it can measure different elements inside of your body: your visceral fat, your subcutaneous fat, your muscle mass, your hydration, and these types of things. This device does a similar thing where it is able to measure up to 300 different biomarkers inside your body every second. And all this technology is going to come together to create what's called a digital twin. A digital twin is kind of a bit Star Trek, a little bit space age, but a digital twin is an incredible concept where we have here is you today, and here is you optimized. How can you optimize every part of your health and wellness journey so we can perhaps prevent different iterations of your future happening, which are predestined? You see, if we look at something like Ancestry.com, where they measure your DNA, and they can tell you who are your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-great, and your cousins around the world, etc. And that's kind of fun, and it's fascinating. But we can look into your DNA and look at what is your future. What future potential do you have around your health? And are there any ways today that we can perhaps nutritionally intervene and give you the perfect foods for you? So what foods to eat to optimize your health? What foods to avoid to optimize your health? What exercises will help optimize your health? And we'll be able to create personalized products like this little sachet here that will be personalized nutrition for each individual consumer. So let me repeat that. We will be able to create a personalized, individualized routine or protocol and supplementation for each individual person, bespoke, made for you to help you live a healthy, long, optimized life. How many of you have seen the Blue Zones? Little Netflix. It seems like everyone's seen it. It's a really great documentary. I think they did a great job of presenting that information. It doesn't cover really everything, but it gives you enough to start thinking, maybe I should look at some of the behaviors I have, and how can I put myself in an environment which helps me have the best chance of living a vital life. We saw people in that documentary, centenarians who were over 100 years old, not in nursing homes, what we think of someone who's in their 70s or 80s, or who are in nursing care, lying in bed, with a nurse. What do they say? We enter the world in diapers. No one wants to leave the world in diapers. In the Blue Zones, we saw people who were dancing and who were active and who were vital, and they didn't have Alzheimer's and dementia. They didn't have degenerative diseases that were slowing them down. I mean, they were slowing down, but they weren't stopped like what we imagine people in that last trimester of their life may look like. And so what if we could help people live full on and pop out instead of dim out? And that is what we're all about. What if we could help 1 billion people on the planet to live healthier longer? Today, there's not one company on the planet doing anything like this. There are, of course, we didn't invent DNA assessments. We didn't invent microbiome assessments. You can do that through maybe a health professional or a naturopath, etc. We didn't invent biometrics, wearable technology like Fitbits and Apple Watches, etc. We didn't invent Noom or MyFitnessPal or the other amazing apps that are out there. What we've done is they've partnered with some of the top technology companies in the world, companies like AWS, companies like Anthropic, which has just been purchased by AWS, Amazon Web Services, for $4 billion. Companies like OpenAI, who've helped to, who have created the ChatGPT experience you've seen. Companies in all sorts of modalities or all sorts of vendors in the AI space to help create a proprietary AI product around health and wellness, to analyze the data of your DNA, your microbiome, your self-assessment with that Noom type assessment, the biometric device, and the data that this Well Spa machine will provide to help create that digital twin. Now, what I thought I might do really quickly is I'm just going to show you a quick picture just with this, and then I'm going to show you a digital twin concept. Just kind of say a video or a picture sometimes paints 1,000 words. Give me a second. Am I able to share screen? Let me just double check here. I am. Very good. Okay, let me see if I can share this with you here. This is an example of this little machine. So this little machine outwardly, and we've just released this in Australia and New Zealand, outwardly helps break down fat and cellulite. Inwardly helps to scan inside your body. And so we can look at a few pictures. These are all of approximately 1 month on one limb. Let's see if I can go up here a bit further. We have tummies, before and afters, and I love the arms. Basically, these arm ones are quite interesting. This is 1 month, approximately 4 times, 3 to 4 times per week for approximately 10 minutes. Okay. And you can see one arm done, left and right. You can see, this is a friend of mine, Kate, from Melbourne, Australia. We were able to get her one of these first machines. Extraordinary results. So you can see here, I'm not just going to scroll through a few pictures. I don't want to bore you with too much here. But this alone, if you had a product that can get rid of fat and cellulite, this alone is an extraordinary product. There's nothing else in the world that competes. Well, there is. You can go and spend $7,000 on fat freezing, which have a similar result, or you can get one of these little machines and do it at home for an absolute fraction of the cost. So quite extraordinary. Now I want to show you a little bit about this digital twin concept that I think you might find interesting. Let me just quickly again share a different screen with you. Let's see if I can find it now. Let's see what's hiding from me. Here we go. I think it's here. Share screen. Okay, give me 1 second here. I'm just going to load this up. Here's a concept for you.
In the decades ahead, healthcare will undergo dramatic transformations. Medicine will become more precise. Value will shape care delivery. Patients will become empowered consumers. And digitalization will transform every facet of healthcare. Patients will have a digital twin, a customized computational model of themselves, enabling Dr. Clive to anticipate illness, guide therapy options, and predict outcomes of procedures. Expanding precision medicine.
Okay, so that's a concept of what we're doing right now. So we're creating this environment where each individual consumer can be empowered with information about themselves, so they can make better decisions around their diet, their nutrition, their exercise, their thoughts, their behaviors, their stress, their sleep, their mental wellness, all in one app. And so I got to tell you that we're extraordinarily excited. The data is private to each individual and secure. The data can be, though, shared with your healthcare professional. If you have I have a holistic doctor, which is amazing. I'll absolutely be sharing that data with that person so they can, help keep me on track. Using also technologies like gamification to make it fun and help to slowly, because human beings don't necessarily like to change habits, slowly modify their behaviors and habits. We are genetically born, certainly with inherited genetics around our heart disease, around cancers, around immune system, etc. There's no doubt about that. But we extensively alter our outcomes with every bite we take and every step we take. And so what if we could modify people's behavior, give them the perfect protocol, give them the perfect formula of exactly what you need in your body at every moment? What if we could, on a quarterly basis, send a little test tube out that they give a little more saliva? And did you know that in saliva, you can measure almost identically what you can measure inside of blood? In that saliva test, they can measure your cholesterol levels, your cortisol levels, your mineral, and vitamin contents in your body. What if they could monitor, your microbiome and what's happening on a quarterly basis? You see, a consumer might start out with a pack like this with a whole lot of little concoction designed for them. But maybe after 6 months, 12 months, they might have lost a few kgs. They might be sleeping better, lowering their stress and cortisol levels. They might be, following protocols better with their eating and exercise. Maybe they need just half of that. Maybe they don't need this full sachet. And so we can have integrity to give people exactly what they need as they need it. We can look at women's health. My wife, going from childbearing years through perimenopause to postmenopause, she has different nutritional needs today than she did a year ago or 5 years ago. And so, and it's the same for men as we go through menopause, as I call it. And so really we can give people exactly what they need when they need it. So I got to say, it's extraordinarily exciting. The app right now is not released. It will be unveiled in July in the United States at a conference, similar to when Samsung just recently unveiled their new Fold phones and their new Galaxy Ring that everyone's going crazy about, excited about in this biometrics world anyway, and then released into the early part of 2025. And so it's kind of an extraordinary opportunity also to know about something before it's released. I'm not going to talk much about business, but I will say that we'll market this through an affiliate-based opportunity, which very simply means that the way you heard about Facebook, or the way you heard about Zoom, which we're talking on now, or the way you heard about LinkedIn, or perhaps Netflix or Uber or Airbnb, was, I guarantee someone told you. There was no advertising budget. People told people until everyone seemed to have that. There was a time when no one had Netflix on their phone, and now everyone has Netflix or similar. There was a time when no one had an Uber app or one of those driver apps, and today everyone does. There was a time when nobody, had Airbnb or one of those type of things, and now everyone does. And so we believe that there will be a time when everyone has a health-related app on their phone that guides them on a daily basis to optimize their health. And we think we have a first mover advantage. It'll take at least 4, 5, 6, 7 years for any competitor to copy what we're doing because of the proprietary nature of the AI. You can do DNA and you can do microbiome, you can do, but to give the exact protocol and to be able to make a personalized product, that's difficult. So we're in a very, very unique situation. With that, I've given you 30 minutes of extraordinary banter. I'd love to take any questions that you have here. If I can, we could even make this a conversation, or you can type the questions into the chat box, and Deb perhaps could read them out. With that, I'll just open the floor for any questions.
Hey guys,
and there are no dumb questions either.
Open the floor. Anyone can ask a question if they like. Go for it. Faye?
I have one. I have a friend who has one of those. I've actually tried it on my body.
And?
Oh, this little machine. We just released it literally weeks ago, around the Christmas time. It's quite extraordinary. I forgot to say, Faye, it also it has this serum that partners with it for body fat.
That's it.
I don't think, and this gel, a different product, actually with the machine activates natural oxytocin levels in the body, which are pain receptors, and so it really has the ability to help mitigate those little sore shoulders and sore neck and sore back and knees, etc. I got one of these for my mother. She is due for a knee operation, and she was trying it, and she called her doctor and said, I want to cancel the operation. My knee's better. I said, you what? You're on a waiting list. You can't go and cancel that. She said, but I don't feel the pain anymore. I said, no. Your cartilage is broken down. It's not replacing cartilage. You still need to have that repaired. So she got back on and rescheduled. But it's really quite an extraordinary device. Did you have some positive experience with it, Faye?
I didn't use it for very long, but what she does, she works with women and people who have lymphedema and lipedema.
Wow.
And so she works with them with those sorts of machines, and she does lots of other different things, but she's always out there getting the new piece of equipment. And I did have it on me, and I could feel the tingle with the gel on my arm. I did try it. Yeah, quite amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It also, you're right. And again, I didn't mention everything about the device, but it's designed to support a healthy lymphatic system. Okay. And so used in the correct way will help if, if anyone doesn't know, our lymphatic system is extraordinarily important. It often becomes clogged or not efficient as we get older. Our heart pumps. It's a pump that pumps our blood circulatory system in our body. You all know that. Our lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. It is moved around through muscle and movement. And as we get older, we lose muscle mass. As we get older, we may not be as active as we were when we were younger. And then we have just normal toxic buildup, kind of like pouring fat down the drain. Over time, those drains can become clogged, and our lymphatic system can become compromised. And so this will help to optimize your lymphatic system, which is really important. And our lymphatic system kind of takes, if blood takes the oxygen and food and nutrients to our cells, our lymphatic system, which is about 3 times the size of our blood circulatory system, takes all the toxins away. It's kind of the sewer system. Sorry, go ahead, Faye.
You're talking about the lymphatic system, which is a really important component of our bodies. But it's really important when women who have breast cancer, who have mastectomies and things like that, and there's the lymph buildup, so they need constant massage, they need all these sorts of things, and that machine can help with this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I will say, just so for the listeners, we aren't here to make any medical claims. We never claim to cure or prevent disease. So I just want to make sure that's clear. In case someone from the TGA is listening in. But this device has been cleared as a medical device by the FDA in the United States as a medical device, and so very, very effective. Let's just say, and that took over 2 years. That took over 2 years to get that FDA clearance. So it's a tricky thing.
It can assist in helping with issues. Medical issues and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see what it can do and how far you can take it. I'm quite fascinated with it.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, one of the most important parts of this, whilst it has a phenomenal result with, backs, arms, and tummies, I say anything that wobbles. It has a phenomenal result with pain management and, pre and post exercise, lymphatic. What I'm excited about is the whole concept of the ability of this device to help support creating a digital twin, because it's going to be a really exciting element to the whole picture. Thanks for your questions, Faye. That's fantastic. I'm glad you had an opportunity to try it. It's just brand new on the market.
I just want to ask a question. When you say a twin, does that mean it creates an internal replica of you so that it can be monitored to see if there's anything that's not quite right, and you can nip it in the bud type thing?
In a way, we have to be very responsible that we are not here to treat or diagnose disease. So we have to be responsible around that. That's the role of the doctor or the healthcare professionals. But absolutely, we'll be able to create an environment where we can see. I mean, I guess let me show you. This is not our report. I just in the weekend I had an assessment done where you go into a gym and you hold your hands on a little bars and you put your bare feet and it sends a pulsar and it gives you a report. Okay. And whilst this is not a digital twin and nothing like what we're going to do, this is like a 1 + 1 compared to calculus, as far as what we're going to be able to do. It does give people a measure of here's where you need to be optimally. Like here, it tells me my optimal body fat and where I am, or here's my optimal, visceral fat or subcutaneous fat, etc. And so we'll be able to do that, creating a digital twin saying, here is the optimal you, and here's the protocols on, the steps on how to get there. But we probably won't be saying, okay, listen, your arteries are clogged. We need to put you on XYZ product for that. We need to be very careful not to do that. Although the AI will know that the arteries are clogged perhaps, or that lymphatics not working, and then create a formula that may have nutrients that help with circulation or support the body in a way that's needed. Sorry to be obtuse with the way I answer it. I just want to make sure I'm very careful we don't, say things that I'm really, integrity is so important to me. We're not going to say things that are, beyond.
I understand.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see where it takes us.
Oh yeah. And I really hope, Faye, and for everybody else listening, I hope that there are lots of competitors that come into this field, in the future, because, the allopathic medicine as it is today, and my father was a doctor, this last 200 years of allopathic medicine, has certainly, helped, and I think if you break a bone or you're in a car accident or you have a heart attack, medicine is incredible. The technology and the science has been wonderful. I think that the way that allopathic medicine has moved down this sort of drug prescription world has some benefits, but I think that the side effects and the negative side, I think history will one day look back and say, oh my God, look the way they used to treat cancer with a chemical chemotherapy, or look at the way they used to treat heart disease, or look at the way they used to treat depression or anxiety. And I think that we're moving more to a more holistic way of doing things, and I think that's exciting. The ability to be in the prevention business, in the wellness industry, not the sickness industry.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And our body has an ability to heal itself anyway. So with that and the right mindset and all that sort of thing, you can find out things or whatever. And I'm not saying it's a medical thing or anything like that, but it's interesting because our body can heal itself. We've just got to be in the right mindset.
Absolutely. When you break a bone, or the doctor might put it in the right direction, but your body, when you think of it, it's incredible. Like every time I have this conversation, I just actually go into my mind and think, wow, that the blueprint of you is there, and your body knows how to put itself back together. If you make it, whether it be a cut or a burn or it's extraordinary. But we have to have the right building tools. The right building blocks are the nutrients our bodies need to perform. I have a saltwater aquarium. If the magnesium level, I'm trying to replicate what's in nature in my house. Okay, this massive, like, it takes up the whole wall. If the magnesium levels are not precisely in ratio to the calcium levels in the water, the magnesium just drops. And so it's a tricky thing. If you can't measure, if I can't have a test kit, then I have a whole science lab where I take the water and I put it in test tubes and etc. It's quite an intricate thing to do. It's kind of a fun hobby of mine, but it really reminds me nutritionally. That's why I love the hobby, is that, you can't look at someone and say, gosh, you need more magnesium or more calcium. You need, you've got your telomeres are degraded or breaking down or not. You can't look at someone and say your antioxidant levels are X or Y unless you can measure. There is no science. And for the first time ever, we're going to be able to do something that has never been done before. It's exciting. It really is. I'm loving these questions, Faye. You're obviously, you've spent time in this, in this world, and thinking about this. And it's really great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm always curious.
It's a good way to be.
Curious. I like to find out things.
Absolutely. Deb, did you have any other questions at all?
Yeah, Janine's got a question. Go for it.
Yes, Janine. I'm sorry. Yes, please, Janine.
Not a problem. I just wanted to find out, will this have a report system in some way, so that you can go back as to see what you do and what you've done, and is it actually working for you? Because a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to be skeptic about this.
Absolutely. This is what the digital twin is all about. Here is you in the beginning. Here is the optimal you, and then here is your progress in between. Absolutely. Again, if you can't measure and see an improvement, or or potentially the other way, if you aren't following a protocol and you see that over time you're not doing better, absolutely. And then they're going to incorporate also, which I'm really excited about, drip education, and gamification to make it fun. For example, your app on your phone, you might say, okay, I want to get more active. I'm going to do 10,000 steps or 5,000 steps or 7,000 steps. You choose your own pace. There'll be recommendations. And if you do that on a daily basis, it might unlock a reward for the consumer. And so it's really exciting to create an environment with gamification, drip learning, to help modify people's behavior. I would like to say that getting people to change their habits is hard. Okay. If you're married, you know what I'm talking about, right? Ladies, you're trying to get your man to change some habit takes some effort. Some of you need metal. And I can say that because my wife is a saint, for putting up with me sometimes. So if we can, with drip education and with knowledge and drip education and gamification, have people modified 5%, 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%. If we can help people modify their behaviors, it absolutely has an outcome the other end. We believe that many people need to go 180, 90 degrees the other direction, with the way they're treating their body. But if we can help support people in a positive way, we can really have, just some really phenomenal outcomes for people. It's a great question, Janine. Thank you for asking. The answer to your question, again, if I rambled on, was absolutely yes.
I got that. No, perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions, guys?
No, I don't think so at this stage.
No. Fantastic. Jeff, anything else you would like to add?
Well, I'm just really grateful to have had the opportunity to share a little bit with this great little team. It's an intimate little audience here tonight, and I know that many people watch this as a replay. If you do have any questions or you'd like to know more, certainly I'm happy to share some more information with you. I've got a little video that might expand upon what we're doing, and we're certainly looking for people who'd like to help partner with us to expand this over time. I don't want to make this a big business pitch, but if there's whether it be a side hustle or something that could turn into a significant, the profitability of this is extraordinary. And what I'm excited about is an app-based business that could go viral. I really believe if not our app, it'll be another app in the future. But everyone will have technology that monitors and supports you in living healthier longer. And for myself, financially, I'm not motivated financially. Although, let me just make sure I tell the universe, let's build a multi-billion-dollar business annually. I want to be careful I don't say the wrong thing to the universe. But I'm not motivated financially per se. We've done very well financially. We don't need to work. Probably our kids, our grandkids don't need to work if we told them that. If we let them know what we've accumulated. Very grateful to my wife who, she likes to say we do workshops. I do the work and she shops. I'm very grateful she shops for houses, not handbags. And so my motivation is not financially. My motivation in this project is, could we be the spark that creates a movement that could impact 1 billion people? What will my great grandkids say my life was about? Is it about having fancy cars and fancy watches and boats and houses and those things aren't bad. I'm not denigrating physical things, but we can't take those with us, at least as far as I know. And so what will my life be about? And what I'm really excited about is partnering with individuals who have a vision and a focus on health and wellness and would like to monetize AI and create a legacy where we can really impact people in a positive way. So I'm really excited about that. And thank you so much, Deb, for inviting me to come and share with your community. And lovely to meet all of you guys, and thank you for your questions. I really appreciate the audience, and you made it easy to present all this tonight.
Oh,
one more question.
Janine, go for it.
Sorry, I was just thinking now, would there be like a learning portal or an education portal for people who like scared to use the DNA AI, but they can go to that portal and read about people who's using it and the testimonials and stuff? Is that something that could be of use?
It's a great question. I haven't heard about something like that, but there definitely will be
and a great idea.
There will definitely be an environment. It's a great idea.
You're welcome.
When someone, maybe I can finish on this. What it might look like, and this is a bit of my imagination because I haven't seen the final version. So we all like imagination. Janine, you download the app for free. Okay. It'll come to you via someone you know, because someone told you, hey, check out this app. I've just had this amazing result for myself. You might like this. And you go, okay, I'll download it. I'll check it out. You download the app for free. The app will start onboarding by saying, hi, Janine, nice to meet you. The AI might even talk to you with a voice. That voice, or an interaction will walk you through. Would you like to start with a cognitive quiz? Would you like to do an IQ test? Would you like to answer a few questions, and we'll see how you're, ranking with your stress and anxiety, or, your mental wellness, mental state, in a, obviously in a very nice way. That may be the wrong way to say that, but I need to probably strike that bit from the video. I don't want to. It didn't come across that I wanted to come across, but it will then say, it'll then ask a whole series of questions. Then it might say, would you like to do a physical a questionnaire around your physical health? And it asks you questions like, how is your libido, or how is your weight, how is your eyesight, how are your joints, etc., etc. Then the app might say, again, would you like to order a DNA assessment? And you say, that's interesting. Could you tell me more about that? And the app may start to explain more about that process. And, there'll be a 200-page report. This will be specific to you. It'll be able to tell you what foods you may be allergic to, what foods are better for you. I know my wife did a DNA test, and I both did it. We spent, gosh, over $2,000 doing this DNA thing a couple of years ago. Our price will be a fraction of that. But it's, it was really interesting. She can't eat broccoli. Broccoli is inflammatory. We love broccoli, but that's inflammatory to her genetics.
Wow.
So it's good for me because I get more portions of broccoli now. But it's it's very interesting to know what is designed. What is it that you need for you? The app will then talk about, would you like to add an additional assessment of your microbiome, which is your gut. And I think someone said before, your gut, your microbiome is the most critical thing to your overall health. If you aren't getting the right absorption in that microbiome, there's about 1,000 different types of bacteria in your gut, trillions of cells. There's many times more bacteria than you have cells in your body. I don't know if you knew that. And if that's out of kilter through poor diet and etc., stress, then that can affect your overall health. And so the app will walk you through every step, and then ask, would you like it? Would you like us to design you a nutritional program? Would you like to just, I can imagine in the future, and this isn't something right away, but maybe in stage 2 or stage 3, where the app creates, here's your, it will create, here's your menu, like a weekly menus for you. But in the future, you might be able to push a button and a box of food arrives with those ingredients. Which will also be monetized. There's all sorts of things that'll happen. And then lastly,
will the chef come with the box?
I hope so.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna blush now. Yeah, a little genie in the bottle will pop in and say, your wish is my command.
Sounds perfect.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so this is again a bit of my imagination, but pretty much what you're going to see happen. The technology is pretty cool. They're even going to put little sensors in the caps of the products that they may recommend for you that knows this is 200 grams, and when it gets close to empty, the AI might message the customer and say, "Hi, Janine. Hi, Faye. Hi, Alan. Hi, Deb. I see your product is almost finished. Would you like me to send you another bottle?" And so one person might go through this bottle in, a month, but another person might take 3 months or 73 days to go through it. And so we're not trying to force people to take a certain level of stuff. It's really they're following their own lifestyle and their own situation. So we can have integrity. We can adjust the formula, as I said, today this sachet might look like this because you need a lot of nutritional support for but that may change over time as you're following different protocols and you're improving your health. And so that's kind of, Janine, if I could say, that's my imagination of what this will look like in the future. And then the app, in my view, will be spread by mom. Mom will be, I'm the first, I'll be the guinea pig, I'll try it. And if mom's expectations are exceeded, she lost a few kgs, she's sleeping better, she's reduced her stress, she has more energy, her libido's increased, and everything's good at home, all of a sudden she's going to say, hold on, the husband needs this, the wife needs this, sorry, the kids need this, the in-laws, the outlaws, and she'll be the one who definitely spreads the news. I know in my life that women control every bit of spending in the household. They make us believe we have a choice, but we don't really. So it's really exciting.
Janine says, once again, awesome webinar and excited to be part of this, changing lives one human at a time. I like that.
Fantastic. Really, really great. Guys, thank you so much. We've hit an hour. I can't believe it. It's gone so quick. It's been so much fun.
All good, all good. For anyone who is watching this, I'm going to put a calendar link of mine either underneath or next to wherever this video is. So if you do decide it's something that you want to hear more about, please do make a time with me, and then you'll most probably be talking to, after that, both Jeff and myself as well, or Jeff. So please do make a time, and yeah, changing lives one human at a time. I like that, Janine. Again, Jeff, thank you so much for that. That was absolutely amazing. A lot of great information, but more so a way that, through new technology, that we can actually help people, that we can make a difference for people. And, the more we can make a difference for people in our lives, not in our lives, but in our lives as well, the happier we are. As I said in the beginning, we tend to forget about ourselves and, help others. And this way we get to help others, we get to help ourselves, and we get to make the world a better place. So thank you so much for your time. And guys, thank you for coming along. It was absolutely wonderful, and your fantastic, fabulous questions were all great. So thank you so much again. And again, anybody would like to know more information about it, please do make a calendar time with me, not a problem. If there isn't a calendar link there, you can go on to Empowerment Point and find me and make a calendar link with me that way. And you'll find me on empowermentpoint.com as well. So thank you again. And Jeff, thank you for spending the time with us. We really appreciate it.
My absolute pleasure.